He said, I do not know that word. So Dhammika is going to tell you the story. So we can hand over the mic to him.
His name mentioned. The name is not mentioned. The story, what happened, one day the Buddha was preaching at the village of Halavi. So, while preaching, the Buddha first, he advised his listeners to practice meditation on the death. And again, Buddha said, think like this, or reflect like this. My life is uncertain, death is certain. One day, or certainly, I have to face death. And again the Buddha advised his listeners to be very mindful and to work very hard to understand the nature or to perceive the true nature of our life. He gives an example. If a man who hunt or have a stick, who brave to face an enemy, even a dangerous or poisonous animal, in the same way, if we have a mindful, we develop the mindful, so the death you will face mindfully, and next destination will be very good. So, while he preaching, among all the listeners or the devotees could not understand the essence of the sermon or the discourse. Most of them cannot understand. A girl who was a weaver, her job is to make strings or threads. This girl, the age of this girl is only 16. 16. So, this girl understood the sermon or the discourse of the Buddha. Then, after the discourse, the Buddha left to Jetavana monastery. One day, while the Buddha surveying the world, normally the Buddha do every day this, the first thing he do, early in the morning. In his vision, the Buddha saw this girl, and the time is ripened to this young girl to attain first stage of sainthood, Sotapanna. So, the Buddha again came to the village of Halavi to preach this sermon again for the second time. So he came with few hundred bhikkhus, disciples. This girl heard Buddha is coming, and he coming with few hundreds bhikkhus, so I must go and listen. When she heard, she wanted to go and listen to this sermon. However, the father urgently needed the strings or threads, so asked this girl or daughter to prepare or to make and bring them. She listened what the father said, and she done. Then she took in a basket on the way. On the way, the Buddha knew this girl must listen to my sermon. She must listen on the way, not return, because a karmic energy for a survival going to extinguish, going to finish. So if she listen to my sermon for next future existence, there won't be problem for a better rebirth. So the Buddha know this will happen. So the Buddha to the audience, so she came on the way, bringing the basket. So she knew the Buddha was preaching inside the audience. So she stand outside. Later on, she went inside, and the Buddha looked at her, observed carefully, and she dropped a basket, approached the Buddha, and respectfully she approached and paid respect. Now, 4 questions Lord Buddha put on her. First, where have you come from? She answered, I don't know. Where are you going? I don't know. You don't know? Yes, I know. You know? I don't know. The people who listening to this, for her reply towards the Buddha, they thought she is very naughty, and the way she answered to the Buddha is disrespect. However, then she came to the question. She respectfully said, Venerable Sir, I come for your first question. It means, where have I come from? It means the answer. From what past existence I came here? I don't know. I don't know. For the second question, where are you going? From what future, after your rebirth, where you will be going? I don't know. For the third, she said, I know. She said, the Buddha's answer means the question, she know that she would die one day. She know. And for the fourth question, the answer is she do not know when a death will take place. This is the answer for the Buddha's questions. At the end of the discourse, she attained first stage of Sotapanna, sainthood. After that, then she took the basket and went on her journey. While going, finally she came father's place, and this time an incident happened. Suddenly, the father was asleep in a waiver seat, asleep there. He woke up suddenly, since a daughter came. He woke up suddenly, and shuttle, I think, accidentally he pulled, and this shuttle straight attacked or struck at her breast, and she died on the spot. At the age of 16 itself, she died. Rebirth took place to Tusita heaven or Deva world. The father could not understand what happened actually. Only daughter, and what in this situation, with broken heart, and he was crying, and then finally to ask advice and consolation, he went to see the Buddha. And Buddha knew and admitted him into bhikkhu, and he became a monk or bhikkhu, and few days later you attain Arahantu. Thank you.
"31. The stanza also 31. Appamada rato bhikkhu pamade bhaya dassiva sanyojanang anuntulang dahang aggiva gacchati appamada rato bhikkhu pamade bhaya dassiva sanyojanam anunturam daham aggiva gacchati. The bhikkhu who delights in heedfulness and looks with fear on heedlessness advances like fire, burning all fetters, great and small. I have told you, when you read the translation, it is not so easy for us to catch the real meaning. Appamada rato bhikkhu pamade bhayadassiva sanyojanang anuntulam daham aggiva gacchati. The monk, or anybody, not only for the monks, because when he preached the Dhamma, always there are monks. The Buddha was surrounded by the monks. Therefore he addressed the monk and preached. And I have told you, his preaching we had to divide into 3 groups. Certain teachings only for the monks, not for others, monks or nuns. Certain preachings only for lay people, not for the monks. And certain teachings are very common to everybody. Now this teaching is common, although he addressed the bhikkhus. So what he says, person who delights in heedfulness, who really experience or who gain happiness by practicing heedfulness. In other words, without neglecting, without forgetting, without laziness, he continue or he practice this method. The method is given below. And look with fear on heedlessness. He regards heedlessness like fire. That means when we neglect, when we forget, when we are not interested in certain good things, that negligence is just like fire. Burns our valuable time, burns our valuable life. Advance like fire. And this person go ahead by developing and developing and developing, just like fire burns all big and small pieces of wood, burning all fetters, great and small. So in the same manner, that person who concentrates without neglecting burns all great and small, big and small defilements or fetters or hindrances and mental hindrances. He burns the mental hindrances. So these hindrances, fetters, are called sanyojana. Pali word is sanyojana. Sanyojana means binding. That we are bound to this world by these sanyojana, these fetters. So it is not so easy for us to untie, get rid of them. Our craving, attachment, selfishness and jealousy, all these are the fetters that encourage us to or support us to remain in this world, to experience more sufferings, more worries, more pains, more sicknesses, because of these fetters, these sanyojanas, these defilements. So 10 kinds of sanyojana, defilement. I think you have heard on many occasions how I explained these 10 sanyojanas or fetters. So person who wants to attain the higher stage of sainthood, arahanta, must cut off all these bondages, ties, and then go higher and higher and higher. So these 10 sanyojanas divide into two, Orambhagiya and Uddhambhagiya. Orambhagiya means the fetters which are bound to this world, Kamaloka, like hell, animals or spirit or ghosts or devils or humans and devas. They have these fetters, these sanyojanas, these bondages. Only 5. They have only 5. The other group, Arupaloka, Uddhambhagi, higher, among Brahmas, they have these 5. But first 5 are well strong amongst those who are bound to this world. But when we cut off these 5, we get the chance to go higher. But still we have 5 more to eradicate. These 10 fetters, bondages, are known as Sakkaya Ditthi, Vichikiච්ඡā, Sīlabbata Paramāsa, Kāmaraga, Patigha. These are the 5 bound to this worldly life. Then the other 5, Rūparaga, Arūparaga, Māna, Uddhacca, Avijja. 10. So divided into 2. So when a person completely removed or eradicated first 3, Sakkaya Ditthi, Vichikiච්ඡā, Sīlabbata Paramāsa, these 3, then he will attain the first stage of sainthood, Sotapanna. the knowledge or the merit or the good karmas cannot support that person to attain first stage of sainthood unless and until that person removes these three fetters. So what are those three? That is one of them. First three, Sakkaya Ditti. It's a very difficult thing to remove from the mind. What is it? What do you mean by self-illusion? Self-illusion. What does it mean? As long as we maintain or we believe that there is a self or soul, that which remains forever, or eternal soul, or the soul created by God, because people do not know that is an illusion, that is an imagination, that is only a belief. But this belief becomes a hindrance for a person to become a saint. Because it is a wrong concept. But people have very strong belief. So we have to get rid of that belief that there is a soul that which remains forever without changing. Second one, Vichikicha, a skeptical doubt. Skeptical doubt means the things that people do not accept, just reject or doubt without finding the reason. To understand whether it is true or not, just reject. Never study, never observe, never investigate, never think, just reject. Or they say just we cannot believe. This is called skeptical doubt, a stubbornness. Few examples. Religion gives enough reason for us to understand that there will be another existence or another life or rebirth after our death. Given enough reason to understand and to think. But without studying, without thinking, just because that they cannot understand, they say no, we don't believe. That is called skeptical doubt. Karma. Religion says, if you create certain bad deeds, you create bad karma. If you do certain good deeds, you create good karma. These karmas support you either to have miserable or pleasurable, fortunate or unfortunate life. Depend on your own karma. But people cannot understand. They never think, never observe. They say, oh, we don't believe that. A skeptical doubt. We say the Buddha is an enlightened religious teacher who can understand everything, who knows everything. That is the nature of enlightenment. Then he has given the reason how he gains this enlightenment, how he had to work for that. But without studying, without knowing the nature of enlightenment of the Buddha, some people say, how do we know he got enlightened? We do not know anything about him. That is skeptical doubt. Buddhism says the Dhamma taught by the Buddha is absolute, everlasting truth. The truth that which never changes. Many other truths that we have learned change after some time. Scientific truth, philosophical truth, psychological truth also change from time to time. But the truth revealed by the Buddha, there is no time to change. It is a timeless message. It is absolute, unchangeable. The truth that which remains forever as truth. There is nobody in this world who can change it, who can deny it. This is the nature of the truth revealed by the Buddha. Then people can say, how do we know the truth revealed by the Buddha will never change? A skeptical doubt. So, as long as people maintain this kind of doubts, there is no chance of attaining even the first stage of sainthood. Third one, Silabbata Paramasa. Sila, Vata, Paramasa. There are three words there. Sila means observance, observe, practice. Certain rites, rituals, sacrifices, and observe certain vows, like not to talk, not to lie down and sleep, and not to eat, not to drink, as religious practices. This is called Vrata, Sila and Vrata. Practices and vows. Paramasa means a strong attachment toward these practices, thinking that these practices can purify, wash away all the sins committed by them. By torturing body, by sacrificing animals or certain material things, by offering to God performing various kinds of rituals. In every country there are certain rituals. But through these rituals, through these observances, no one can attain even the first stage of sainthood. These are the three. Belief in eternal self, a skeptical doubt, belief in rite and rituals and ceremonies, thinking that they can purify themselves, wash away their sins. When the minds are free from these three things, then that person gets the chance to attain the first stage of sainthood, Sotapanna. Meaning, Sota means a stream. Apanna means get into. He will get into that stream. The water runs only in this way, but not upward. Just like this water runs through this stream. The person who gets into the first stage of sainthood never goes back to worldly life again, never returns, never goes back to jungle again. Straight away, step by step, march towards salvation or nirvana. Only after attaining this first stage of sainthood, we can guarantee that this person never goes to hell. This person never becomes an animal. This person never becomes spirit or ghost or devil. This person never becomes mad. This person never becomes stupid. This person never changes the belief that accepted, never change. Now we are not free from all this. Although we have done lot of merits, we have accumulated lot of good karmas, we have performed various rites and rituals, we have spent lot of money and many other things. But still there is no guarantee. Why? We have not attained the first stage of sainthood. Why there is no guarantee? Because our minds are unreliable. Can change our mind at any time. This is the uncertainty of our mind. Any time we can get angry. Any time we can become cruel. Any time we can harm others. Any time we can do bad things. Although we try to be good, this is the nature of our mind. Because we have not attained first stage of sin. Person who has attained the first stage of sainthood never commit 6 kinds of bad karmas, very heavy bad karmas. Never. But in our case there is no guarantee that we never commit. Because changes can take place in our mind. When we are angry, we can do any bad thing. What are those things? Person who has attained first stage of sainthood never kill his or her own father and own mother. Never. But others can do. And never kill a holy man like Arahantas or saint. Never injure the Buddha. Others can do. And never create dispute among the holy order of the monks. These are the 5 heavy karmas. Chechabithanani abhabbo katu. Ratana Sutta. 6. Then one more. Never hold micchaditti, wrong concept, wrong belief. Never entertain. There are 10 kinds of wrong beliefs, but people maintain. But one who has attained first stage of sainthood never entertain or believe any of these 10 kinds of wrong concepts. Natti dunnang, natti yittang, natti sutang, natti sukata dukkatang, kammanang phalang vipako, natti ayang loko, natti paraloko, natti mata, natti pita, natti loke samana brahmana magdata patipanna, natti loke satta opapatika. 10. People have this wrong belief. Only one who attained first stage of sainthood is free from this. The meaning. There is no meaning of giving anything to anybody. Why should we give? That belief. There are some people who say, why should we give? Let them also go and work and find out their own living. Why should we support them? Especially for monks. In the West, many people ask this question. Why should we feed monks? What is the difficulty for them to go out and work, find out for their living? Because that is their way of life. Why should they depend on others? Because they have no idea of renunciation, nature of religious life. And what is the meaning of giving something or offering to a holy man in appreciation of his renunciation, encourage him to carry on his holy life and useful life and religious life, in appreciation of the services that he renders toward the religious devotees by attending to various religious activities and giving knowledge, and for them to have healthy life to carry on their religious life. But they never consider these things. Why not they also go and work and earn something? Such belief. There are 3 ways. Simply by giving or offering. Again, inviting them to your house. Respectfully you offer something. If not, you approach them, inviting them to a certain place, ceremonious. You offer some food or anything. 3 ways of giving. They reject. They don't believe any of these things. Natti sukata dukkatang kammanang phalang vipaka. There are no such good effect or bad effect in our action. We can do anything whatever we like. We must have that freedom. Who is going to control? People can say, we should not do this, we must do that. We are not going to listen to them. We must have freedom to do whatever we like. Therefore, we don't believe that good karma creates good effect, bad karma creates bad effect. That is a wrong concept. This is called micchaditti, wrong idea. Natti ayang loko, natti paraloko. We don't believe that we have come from another previous existence to this one. And we also don't believe that there will be another life after our death. This is the first and the last. This belief. Natti mata, natti pita. Why should we respect our father and mother? Why should we feed them, support them, assist them? Why should we respect them? Leave them alone. We are not responsible for them. Forget about them. This kind of belief. Because this is not the human nature. This is animal nature. Natti loke samana brahmana samagdata patipa. There are no such people as holy people or monks or priests for us to respect or to support. They are also just like us. Why should we respect them? Why should we support them? Natti loke satta opapadika. This one, of course, difficult to understand. There are no such living beings that exist or appear in this world spontaneously. Spontaneously means without giving birth by the mother. I have explained this already. Like a spirit, ghost, devas, brahmas. No mother, no father. They just appear. But we do not know how they appear, the nature of the formations of their physical body. Invisible. That is why they are invisible to our naked eyes. The formations of elements and the energies. They say we don't believe that. These are the 10 kinds of wrong beliefs, wrong ideas, wrong concepts. So one who has attained first stage of sainthood is free from all these wrong concepts. Then the guarantee is there. One way traffic. Then 2 more. Kamaraga and Patiga. Kamaraga. Attachment towards sensual pleasure. To indulge 5 senses. Craving for this pleasure. It is natural. But because of this craving for pleasure, living beings in the kama loka, sensual world, experience or face enormous suffering. all their troubles and problems and worries and disturbances and calamities and fighting and violence and killing and bloodshed, everything takes place because of this pleasure. Animals also. So, to attain the second stage of sainthood, they had to reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce that crazy attitude toward pleasure. Pleasure gives immediate good result. Result means emotional feeling. Next moment create lot of problem. End of every pleasure create unpleasant situation. Face problems. Second one is fatigue. There are three words: anger, hatred, ill will, grudge. 4 words. Anger is different. Anger is emotional. We show our anger for good purposes. Parents show their anger toward their children to train them with good intention. That is emotion. It is not hatred. It is not ill will. And people shout others to correct them. Look very angry. It is not hatred or ill will. Idea is to correct or teach something. It is not irreligious. But ill will and hatred, I hate you. If I say that, that means I don't like to see your progress, your good health, your long life. That means I curse you. If I say I hate you, I can hate myself. Same effect. If I say I hate myself, that hatred creates bad karma because we polluted the mind. I hate you. Then there is no mercy, there is no kindness, there is no sympathy, no compassion, nothing. But fatigue is higher than this. It is ill will. That means keeping the grudge in the mind. While hating and keeping the grudge in the mind to take revenge, planning to take revenge. So whenever there is any chance or opportunity, take revenge. That is the most poisonous thought. So fatigue is very poisonous. So this one also we had to reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce. These two things, two defilements are very strong in our mind. Not so easy to wipe out. first we can reduce to 50%. Then we can attain the second stage of sainthood, Sakadaga. See? Second stage of sainthood. Sakrut Agan. Once returned. Meaning, the person who has attained this second stage of sainthood died without attaining Arahant. Rebirth can take place only once, next. That is why it is called once return. There is no second, third rebirth for that person because reduce, craving for existence, reduce. That means no more petrol to run. Start the engine, the machine. Now, third stage of sainthood, Anagami. We had to complete those two that we have reduced. Craving for sensual pleasure and fatigue or ill will. We reduce 50% in the second stage. To come up another step, we had to reduce the other 50% also. Now no more craving for sensual pleasure, no more hatred or anger or grudge, ill will in the mind. Mind is free from these two. Then attain the third stage of saint. It is called Anagami. Anagami means never return. Never return means if not attain Arahanthood within that lifetime, if he or she dies, only after attaining the third stage of sainthood, rebirth take place in one of the Suddhavasa Brahmaloka, pure abode. There are 5. Suddhavasa. Suddha means pure. Abode. Suddhavasa Brahmaloka. Rebirth takes place there. While staying there, cultivate the rest, develop the rest to attain Arahanthood and Nirvana. Without coming down, without having another rebirth. That is why it is called never return. Later, when Mahayana schools of Buddhism started to develop, they have expanded and beautified, elaborated, exaggerated this Suddhavasa, pure abode, as pure land. That is how the idea of pure land come into existence. Earlier, there was no such thing as pure land. That pure abode where Anagami, those who have attained the third stage of sainthood, remain until they attain Nirvana. They interpreted in this way, Bodhisattvas, that means those who are going to attain Nirvana, remain there without attaining Nirvana until all the others also attain. This is their own interpretation. It is not that purposely they remain there. They are cultivating the rest. That is what the Buddha taught. Now we have completed 5. Now we are going upward. Never come down to lead a worldly life again. But still we have not attained Arahanthood, perfection. 5 more. Ruparaga, Aruparaga, Mana, Uddhacca, Avidya. 5. Ruparaga, craving for fine material world. Now they have no craving for this Kamaloka or this worldly life. But they have craving for fine material world. That is Brahmaloka. In Brahmaloka, I have told you, they can spend, you know how many thousands or how many millions of years without facing many of these problems, physical problems that we are facing. Peaceful life, contentment, peace, tranquility, no disturbances. Craving for that particular life. It is a mental defilement. Because after attaining that Brahma world, they have not ended their karmic energy to create rebirth. Rebirth can take place after spending such a long time there. Therefore it is under the mental defilement. Second one, Arupa Loka, Arupa Raga, craving for formless world. Another particular area in Brahmaloka, life exists without a physical body. It is not difficult. Life, mental energy, but no visible physical body. Then no burdens. Now we can understand what a big burden this body. Every minute we have to attend to this. So how lucky we are if we are free from this burden. Life exists without this burden. That particular Brahma. Craving for that particular life. Because that is also not completed the journey. Rebirth. One day there will be an end to that life. And again rebirth can take place. We have to get rid of that. Third one is Mana. You see how strong this mental defilement in our mind. We carry this up to the last stage. Never give up. What is this? Pride. It's a terrible thing in our mind, our pride. We never give up, never surrender. Egoism. We fight to maintain that egoism. Never surrender. Pride. That means I am greater, I am higher, I am superior, I am better than you or others. That is why we cannot tolerate when others come and criticize. Cannot tolerate. We get angry because of that. Although we know we have done some mistake, when others come and criticize, we cannot tolerate. We want to fight because of that pride. Maintain their prestige. It is a mental defilement. We have to drop this one. Then all become equal. No differences, no discrimination. When we drop this pride, no differences, discrimination. Uddhacha. Restlessness in our mind. What is this restlessness? Certain bad thing that we have committed in early part of our life, going on bothering and disturbing our mind. Certain bad karmas that we have committed during our previous birth, still haunting in our subconscious mind. So we feel some sort of irritable, unpleasant feeling. Therefore we have to train the mind by giving confidence through our knowledge and understanding to get rid of this nuisance. It is not that purposely we create this. Naturally, focus into our mind or recall. Last one, avidya. Avidya is the main cause for our existence. Ignorance. Ignorance nurture and support craving. Craving create good and bad karma. Good and bad karma create existence again. Existence again create karma. And ignorance support in all these states. That is how we are going round and round. Start from ignorance. And how this ignorance appeared or become the main cause. God is not the main cause according to Buddhism. Ignorance is the main cause. First, mental impurities like sediments in the water appear in the mind due to five senses and imagination. Six senses bring dirt into the mind, then create sediments. When these sediments remain for some times, like in a glass of water, you can see some bacteria, germs develop. In the same manner, those minor objects that enter into the mind remains as sediment and develop as bacteria and virus and germs. Ignorance can create any kind of bad thing. Ignorance. So that ignorance completely blindfold us, cannot understand, cannot see things properly because of this ignorance. Then ignorance support us to do bad things. Ignorance also support our craving. When the craving appears in the mind, we create good karma and bad karma both. Whether karma is good or bad, the duty of karma is to carry us life after life, support us, pushing, dragging. If it is good karma, we enjoy during that period. If it is bad karma, we suffer during that period. But after that, nobody knows what will happen. So, that ignorance started from the beginning of our life and again in the end. That is the last item that we will drop. And after that, no more attachment towards this worldly life. Will be free from all the disturbances and worries and troubles and pains and sufferings. That is called Nibbana. These are the 10 Sannyojana, fetters, bondages that we have. All of us have. It is not so easy to untie. Use a full effort. Reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce. Take time. But don't worry, take time. Thank you. Imina punya kammena upajjaya gunuttara acari upakaraca mata pita piya mamam Suryo Chandi Maharaja Gunavanta Narapice Brahma Maharaja Indaca Lokapalaca Devata Yamo Vitta Manusaca Majjata Vedika Pica Sattve Satta Sukhi Hontu Punyani Bhakatani Me Sukhanchati Vidam Dentu Kipam Papeta Vomatam Imina punya kammena Imina uddisena ca Kippaham sulabhe ceva Kamno padana cetanam Ye santani hina dhamma Yava nibbana Nassantu sabbadaeva yatta jato bhave bhave ujjujitto sattipanyo salleko viriyavamina maravabhantu nokatam katunca viriyesu me buddhadi pavado nato dhammo nato aruttamo nato pacceta sambuddho